G'day, I'm Greg and welcome to the shed. I'd like to start by apologising for it being so long between videos and looking at what's been going on. I know a lot of you are interested in how the V-plot project on the shape has been progressing. Well, it hasn't. It's progressed further than what you have seen on the videos, but it hasn't gone anywhere near as far as what I'd like it to, and the reason's been very simple. I've been away. I went away for a 3-day job and I got back 33 days later. Well, not quite 33 days later. I was home for 7 hours in those 33 days. So these things happen. And I was home for a few days and then I was out again. And basically I've only just got home. I got home what's today? When I'm shooting this on a Monday, and I got home Saturday night. I spent Sunday running around doing stuff. It's Monday night, it's about 6 PM and I'm out again on Saturday morning at 4 AM and I've got 2 drug tests to do. I've got to do a training course, and what else have I got to do? I've got to go and do an induction, and yeah, I basically haven't got much to do if you want to look at it that way. Not while I'm asleep anyway. But yeah, while I've been away, it says me sticking my hand in front of my face, there's been a few things turn up. The one thing about working lots of hours is that you do actually make some money out of it. It's never enough, but it's never enough to justify being away from home, but it does help you do things when you get at home if you've got time. And the problem I've had is that I haven't had time when I get home because I've been running around doing the stuff at home, don't get in the shed, don't get to do what I like to do. And unfortunately, you folks don't get to see what I want to do. But we'll just move the tripod around and the phone's going bing. But I'll show you what has turned up. I bought these out of America. Bought this out of America. My mill's MT3. I've been using ER32 tooling. This is MT3 ER40. As you can see, I haven't taken it out of the package yet. It'll be Chinese. But quite frankly, I don't care. I don't want to say most. A significant amount of the name brand stuff is Chinese. The unfortunate thing about it is these ER40 collets, 1732. Don't know if you can see, it probably reflects too much off the, let's see if we get a bit of shadow in the right spot. Oh, well, there you go, ER32, 1732. It's just the first collet I grabbed out of the bag. There's no metric sizing on them that I can quickly see. It says, sorry, this is ER, what am I talking about? It's ER40, 1732 collet. I'll have to go back and see whether I goofed on this or not when I review. Actually, I won't even edit it, you'll just get to see it as it was in raw form. But what it basically means is that if I pick up something that's 8mm, I've got to go, oh, it's 9/16. Pick up something that's 17mm, I've got to go, it's about 11/16. And that's great, but what, 16mm, 5/8 near enough. And those common sizes are pretty much stuff when I say people my age grew up with, but we don't use it enough. Unfortunately, it comes with a collet spanner, and this is how the collets arrive. It's a bag of collets, and it goes from 1/8 to 1 inch, and there's 23. That's a 23 collet set. Be warned, you can buy ER40s in 15 collet sets, and what they do is they leave out the big collets and all the in between the common collets. So that's what you often find with your cheaper sets, is that the big collets are missing and the odd collets are missing. So if you want to do 8mm, 5/16, 3/8, 10mm, half inch, 12 to 13mm, that sort of stuff, no problems. But if you want to do 15/16, which is 24mm, nah, forget it. If you want to do 23mm, well, you're dead in the water. You might be able to get away with a 24 on a 1 inch. Yeah, on a 1 inch collet you should be able to get away with 24, but you'll be right at the limit of it, because 1 inch is 25.4mm, and normally your collets are 1mm increments, which is near enough to a 64th. So I believe another thing that I got off the UPay website is a box of adapters. Now this goes from, that's 1/4 inch male, 3/8 female, to 1 inch male, 1 inch female, 3/4 male, and that one there is 3/4 female, 1 inch male. And so it covers all the combinations that I see. I can go from, I take a 1/4 inch and turn it into that's 3/8 to 1/4. These appear to have been on display. There's a little bit of surface rust on them. With what I'm going to do with them, who cares? By the time they've been bounced around on a mine site for a while, everything gets dirty. Also, new welding helmet. I've got a couple of these. This is normally about 150 Australian dollars. Sorry, it was it was about 150 Australian dollars, I think it was. I bought it for 74 Australian dollars. I've got another helmet that does exactly the same. So why did I buy this one? Well, the difference is this one's got the controls on the outside, which is great when you're welding, because you can give it a tweak while you've got the bucket on. You don't have to stop to turn it up or turn it down, which particularly if you're doing TIG, or you're in some awkward positions, you don't want to get out, take the bucket off and then playing around. You know, if you're winding the TIG up and down, sometimes you can just puddle it for a little bit while you make a quick adjustment and get going again. It doesn't always work, but it does sometimes. Now, a couple of features on this helmet. It has a speed, slow, middle, fast. I've currently got it set to fast. Has a sensitivity. How sensitive it is? Min to max. I've got it set on max. It's on max now. I'll turn it back a little bit, just a little bit off max. These little black bits you can see here, there's actually two more up here. They're 4 sensors. So your very cheap helmets that are auto darkening have got, you should be able to, yeah, hopefully you can see through that. It's just me trying to see. If you can see, yeah, you can see. You can see through that at the moment. Your cheap helmets have 2 sensors. They might be up top, they might be down the bottom, but they've got 2 sensors in them. And I'm not giving you the fingers, it's 2 sensors. The other side of this has got 4 sensors, just makes it a bit more sensitive, a little bit more reliable, in theory. On the other side, this is what I like about these helmets. A normal auto darkening helmet goes from 9 to 13. Shades 9 to 13, which is good for high powered TIGs, stick welding, that sort of stuff. But this one here also goes from 5 to 8. So if I'm on the TIG and I'm doing very light work, I can be down on shade 5, which is a great advantage. Now the other thing too also is that at grade 5 I can oxy weld with it. Oxycut. It's basically the darkness of an oxy goggle that you normally wear. Your oxy goggles, you know, your flip ups or your pull downs, whatever. Grade 5 is about the darkness of this. Its current state is grade 3. or shade 3, grade 3, shade 3. But it also has a grind feature on it, because if I turn it to grind, it won't darken. It just stays at shade 3, so you can see what you're doing when you're grinding, in theory. So that's this one. This is a HRD brand helmet. Got it from a local tool store while it was on special. This is the helmet that I have been using for a while. I like this one. Exactly the same features. The advantages are bigger viewing area, smaller viewing area. Notice, so we can get them back side by side, yeah. Okay, bigger viewing area. Both have got solar cells in them to keep them charged up. Both have got backup batteries. The difference is, and you probably, you can see all the controls for this one down here on the bottom. Same features, but I've got to take it off to set it to grind, where with the other one I can go, says me we're out of shot, the other one I can go tweak and I'm in grind. I'm a bit close, when I say out of shot, I'm a bit close for the shot. So that's possibly of interest. Something else that's turned up, bought a few of these. Colloquially known as old bastard glasses. Perfect for old bastards. Very, very good. Again, this was an eBay purchase. What they are is these are, this is me breaking into it. These are tinted bifocal disposable safety glasses. Wear them, wreck them, throw them in the bin, but they're bifocals. They're 1.5s, that's all that I need. I find 2s, whilst they do work better for me, and I have my prescription safety glasses, but I don't wear them because I made a little mistake when I bought them. Basically what happened was I've got my distance prescription in most of it, and I've got my reading prescription in the bottom bit. Now that's great, but what it does is it leaves me the distance that I will mainly work in, which is my face to where I'm reading, and then the next bit is my face to where I'm working is out of focus, or from where I read to where I work I'm out of focus. And what happens is when I take the glasses off, I'm disorientated, and a lot of my work happens in that area where I'm out of focus. The other problem too, the beauty of having disposables is if they get covered in paint or whatever, I don't care. Where having a $400 pair of bifocal safety glasses, if they get covered in paint and grinding sparks, and well, yes, I know there'll be safety people will be going, but you should never get them covered in grinding sparks. Mate, try getting your head into the positions that I have to work with a helmet on. I hate doing it because you got to be able to see where you're grinding. With welding, I can stick my head in there, get into a position, pull my head out, and I can weld roughly by feel. Can't do that with a grinder when you're cutting stuff. So what you got to do is you got to get in there tight, and you can talk about getting the goggle, the mask over your face. Doesn't work. Not when you're on a 45 centigrade day. The sweat's running off. They fog up in no time at all. You can't see what you're doing. You get the opposite problem. There's our friends in the cold environments would tell you to get your glasses, your goggles to work when they're right on your face, and even your glasses for that matter. You've got to tuck them down your shirt and get them hot before you put them on. I do it a lot when I ride the motorbike. So I'll go and take the crash helmet over to the heater, and I'll stand in front of the heater and warm the helmet up before I put it on so I can go riding. It works. I could see for a little while anyway. Now, I bought the BSPT caps. Oh, incidentally, these are the clear versions of the same. 1.5 bifocals, safety glass. I could use the, I was just looking for it. You can get the overglasses to go over your prescription glasses. These are only $12.50 specials, 1.5s. You can get the overglasses, but I've got to buy a new pair of prescription reading glasses, because what happens is the overglasses are over your glasses, but they rest on them and they rub and they scratch it, and then they're no good. So you throw them in the bin, you take them back, and $180 later you've got a set of lenses in them. Jump up and down and growl a bit. Now, I've bought some BSP taps. A lot of the stuff, these are BSPP taps, parallel. They're cheap, they're from China. The amount that I use them, I can't justify a $70 tap, but I can justify an $8 tap. And then most of the time what I'm tapping is poly pipe fittings for reticulation or brass or cast iron, stuff that's comparatively soft. And when you're looking at $8 or $10 each delivered, and you use them once in every 2 blue moons, then it's pretty easy to live with $8 or $10 tap. Some of them, I think so there's 1, 2, that's number 3, 4. I think we go from 1/8 to 3/4. That's 3/4. Might be a 1-inch one yet to turn up, but I'll have to go and check that. It's been a little while since I ordered them, and stuff from China is sometimes a little slow, but yeah, look, for the amount that I use them, often they'll just, this type of stuff I will use, yeah, that's BSPP. A lot of the stuff that I will use, it only gets used for chasing out a thread. You've got something that's, the thread's just dirty, so you run it down. You don't need a $100 tap to run down and clean out a rusty thread or a grotty thread. In fact, often you're better off not using a $100 tap, because you want something that's a bit softer, because it'll let you get out of jail a little bit. That's my theory anyway. You don't want something that's super hard and super brittle, because when you're on a soft tap, this is me making hand actions out of camera shot, when you're on a soft tap, it's got a little bit of spring in it, and it gives you a little bit of warning before it breaks. If you break it, well, it serves you right. Some other stuff that is upcoming. For the shaper. Oh, it's just me. It's alright. I dropped it and broke the end off it. But yeah, this goes in the shaper for grooving. And you'll see that getting used later on that. That's as far as we've got with the VBOT project. So you'll get to see that. Set of 1/2-inch Whitworth taps. Now, interestingly enough, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine the other day, who's also got a YouTube channel. He lives about an hour away. And we were talking about broken taps, because he does a fair bit of broken stuff and getting stuff out. And this particular tap, it's 1/2-inch Whitworth. It's a Sutton, so it's high quality, don't worry about that. Sutton make really high-end stuff. It's as good as anything anywhere in the world. They also have some economy brands that they make. But we were talking about tapping hard materials. Because what they do is this particular company that we're talking about, what they do is they harden the stuff, and then they try and tap a thread on it after hardening. And I said to my friend, why don't they get a set of graded taps that you don't get your full profile until you run the last tap through. So your first tap might cut 75% thread, or we were talking about it, the first tap might, because we don't know, the first tap might cut 75%, the second tap might cut 90%, and it's not till you run the final tap through, which is the full form, that you get a, in this particular case, they cut to a 6H specification, which is fairly tight, but it's not till you run the last tap through that you actually can run a bolt through. So we were chatting about that, and he was off to have a look at that. Well, when I say off to have a look at it, we were talking about it, he was going to have a look at them, whether he actually bought them or not, that's a different story. He probably hasn't had a chance yet. But the beauty of only having a partial thread is that when you're heat treating, and this is a fairly large lump of material, when you're heat treating, you haven't got any points to deal with, so it's not a big deal. But when you come to running the tap through, you've already got your first 2/3 or 3/4 of your thread is already cut. Your first 2/3 of your 3 operations is already done. So you can run through, you do your final cut, it's a clean up. These are a high-speed steel tap, they're not a tungsten carbide tap or tungsten tap. So they, in theory, should be a little more forgiving, and if you do break them, well, you've probably got a chance of getting them out. There's some strange messages coming up on the screen. I got a couple of little collets from the air die grinder. I've had an air die grinder, oh, how old's this thing? It's probably a bit scary. I'll tell you when I bought it, when I was an apprentice. And it's got a broken collet in it, so I ordered a couple of collets that I don't even know if they're going to fit, but we'll throw them in, because for $4 for 2 collets delivered, it's worth a go to see if they fit, and if they don't fit, oh, hey, who cares? It's $4. You know, you can't even buy a beer in a pub for that nowadays here. Heap, I say heap, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 carbide burrs, double cut. These will be interesting to see what they're like when I start using them. I think they'll be okay, they don't feel too bad. I've got a good set, which lives with my cordless grinder, which I think I showed on another video. I'll have to have a look, see if I did. I've got a cordless pedestal grinder. Pedestal grinder, cordless pedestal grinder. Great little tool. I only used it a couple of times. It's got me out of jail a couple of times. And it's great because I can carry it around. It uses the same batteries as what my half-inch rattle gun does, as what my 3/4 drive rattle gun does, as what my power saw does, yada yada yada, you know where I'm going. I won't bother showing you all of these, but yeah, they look pretty good. I think they'll be quite adequate. We'll see how they go. I might have a look at these. I'm pretty sure these are all meant to get me. There we go. Focus. There we go. That's better. We'll just have to make sure that we've got a collet that they've got the right size shanks on them for these, so they stay in. They're meant to be 1/4 inch, I think. What else we got here? Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, when this turned up, you can't see it. There we go. It got damaged in transit, so I did. It wasn't particularly well packaged. I was a bit unhappy about that. It's also got a couple of dings here, and quite frankly, I don't know if it got damaged in transit or got damaged before it got packaged and got sent to me. Locks falling off the box, very disappointing. But supposedly accurate to within 2/10,000ths of an inch. But from 1/4, a half, I think that's 3/4, 1, 1.5, yada yada, and then it goes 15, and this one here is 30 degrees, so 30 and a 15, 30, 20, 15, something like that, I forget what they are. I'll mark them on the box here so that well, let's get in a shot. I'll mark it on the box here so that Dodo doesn't have to think about it too much. But for quick setups, it just makes it easy. I can read through the paper a little bit. That one there, 10, 15, that's 20, so that'll be 25 and that'll be 30. These ones here I can't see. But yeah, look, I think it's $50, $48, I think it was, it's 48 Australian dollars delivered. And they gave me a bit of a credit back, and the amount I'm going to use them, as long as they're somewhere in the, I won't say somewhere in the ballpark, as long as they're reasonably close, I'll be quite happy. What I also bought, we've been spending up big here, was I bought five boring bars. Yes. And what we've got here is we've got got some different sizes here, I think 6, 8s, 10s and 12s. But they turn up with a trusty little Torx drive. They do come with a box of tiny little carbide tips, which I'll just, if you excuse me for a minute, I shall just see if I can grab one quickly. So after 10 minutes of looking around, I should have looked on the floor first. Where else would you put them when they turn up in a tiny little plastic bag? Turns out with 5 inserts, 1 for each bar. And as you can see, these inserts are not large. I'll be a little more careful with these now that I've put them down. But basically what we've got, I'll have to work out what insert they are and order some more, because I know they're not going to last particularly long. But what we've got is we've got, this one here is a 12mm SCLCR06. A lot of these will sound very similar. I'll just do that. It's alright. SCLCR06. This is SK08. That's an S12M, so an SK08 also has one of these. Look at the size, or the lack of size of that one. Great little tool. Same orientation on the end as what we had before. So that's an 8mm. Let's quickly pop him in the box. So we've looked at a 12mm, we've looked at an 8mm. This one here is a 10. Probably don't need to show you a 10mm. This one here is a 7. So we'll get the 7 out just because we can. Again, same orientation of the tip. 7mm. Complete with grub screw and Torx tool. Excuse me, and we have a carbide tip to put in it, which if we get brutal on my lathe, actually we don't have to get brutal on my lathe's got enough grunt, we can break that without any difficulty at all. We can bend the hell out of it, but obviously it just depends on how rough you are, so I shouldn't have any trouble with that. This one here is an SO6K So we can get it so you can read it. There we go. So this one here should be a 6mm tool. Funnily enough, it's in one of the bigger boxes. When I say bigger boxes, one of the bigger lumps of packaging. So, and these all with the these bars all came with the carbide tips, and I think I paid about $28 delivered. We'll find out when I start using them on a video, won't we? I can hear people going, it's rubbish. Just think, when you eliminate all the middlemen, when it leaves the factory, it ain't particularly expensive. And people go, but if it's not expensive, it's not good. But it wasn't expensive when it left the factory. Yeah, that's right. When it left the factory, it wasn't expensive. By the time you got it, it was expensive. Because each one person along the line's got to put on their markup. So the more hands it goes through, the more markup it gets on it. Yeah. What else have I got here of interest for you? I'll have to have a look, because a while back, I'll have to have a look. I bought a 80mm facing, 80mm diameter face cutter for my mill, with a 27mm MT3 arbor. I've got that. That's here. Actually, I'll just grab it and show it to you, because I'm not sure. The reason I bought this, you'll find out in a bit. MT3 27mm. It's M12. My mill's 1/2 inch Whitworth. The current drawbar on it's 1/2 inch Whitworth. I'm going to give it some thought. This might become 1/2 inch Whitworth yet. $80mm, made in China. Of course, you get your Torx drive with it. Turns up in its little tub. Yeah, basic appearances. Yeah, looks a bit better than I could probably make in the shop with the gear I've got at the moment. Maybe, maybe not, we'll find out. But I haven't got time to muck around to make one. And AM, I think they're AMPTs, might be AMKTs or AKPTs, I can't remember it. It's just me throwing them all over the ground. These are 1604s anyway, it really doesn't make much difference. The only thing that really changes on them, we're talking about, is the radius on the end. These are a 1604. My current face mill is 50mm. It uses APMT 10355 Sumitomo's, and if I buy them out of Asia, eliminate the Australian middlemen, I get it at the really good price of about $70 for 10. They're about $7 each. In Australia, they cost me about $124 for 10. I can buy these all over the world for $20-30 for 10, and you burn them up and who cares. Don't get me wrong, the Sumitomo insert is a very good insert, but it's a 10mm insert. It's expensive. If it was an 11mm insert, it'd be half the price. And I could buy equivalent quality insert to the Sumitomo at half the price that I'm paying for the Sumitomo. I could probably even buy them in a 10mm or an 11mm at half the price. Yes, it is made in Asia. But I think most of the stuff that I buy, even a lot of your name brand stuff, is made in Asia somewhere. The Asians will make you very high quality stuff if you're prepared to get it. If you want, you can buy high quality stuff cheap, but you have to work out how to eliminate the middlemen. Now, I like supporting the locals, I really do. There's my big machinery, lathe and mill, I buy locally. I buy them from Hare and Forbes, and their service is outstanding. Never a complaint. I've never got a complaint to make about them. Never a grumble about them when it comes to service and backup and support. And the guys in there are great guys to deal with, and they're good, very good. But I can't afford to be paying $124 for inserts when I can buy inserts that will do equivalent, will do adequately what I need when I'm not in here all the time. I don't know what was going on my screen there. I can't afford to buy these super expensive inserts for me when I'm not making money out of it. And, you know, I can't afford to pay double the price for them, or 1.5 times the price for them, or 50% more, or whatever, however much it is, needlessly. So, what we'll just quickly do is go back to what I was talking about earlier on about the tap set. This is a tap set that I got from Hare and Forbes. I recommend everyone in Australia go and buy one. It's just me trying to get it out. There's a rope falling down the bottom here. It's going to take me a couple of minutes to get it out. It's been bounced around in the back of the ute. A couple of the taps have fallen out and they've jammed up. But yeah, look, we'll talk about it. We'll grab the M12s. I've talked about these before, I think, in one of my other videos. Note here: 1, 2, nothing. First tap, second tap, nothing tap. Okay. Let's see if we get it there. Okay. Notice the flats on the top where we're looking. It's only cutting a partial profile. Right? Now, let's see if we can get a reading on here. Oh, pretty hard for me to tell. It looks like this is M12 at the end of my finger there. M12-6H. Hope you can read that. There we go. It should come out, I hope. M12-6H. So they're cutting to a specification, which incidentally you'll find in the engineer's book, the little black engineer's book. They do one for fasteners and they do one for other stuff. Now, the second one, let's go to the second one. So use number one, use one groove first. Then we go to the second one. And if you can see, we're actually starting to get to a bit of a, still got a flat on the top, but it's roughly, very arbitrarily, about half of what its predecessor was. You still can't run a bolt through there once you get the tap through. Trust me, I've tried. Then we get to the last one. Nothing on the shank. M12-6H. Okay, now we have a full thread profile. No flats. We've got points. So this is a very tight tolerance tap compared to what we generally use. I say we, myself, and just about every other tap that I've seen. But these are a very tight tolerance tap. The high speed steel. Yeah, I love the quality of the hole. Once you've run these through, put a bolt in, it's nice. This set that's in my hand, this is me looking at all the bits thrown on the ground, goes from 8. Let's see if I can get this out. I've got one tap slid up underneath the flange, underneath the lip, and it's just in an awkward spot to try and get some leverage on to get it open. Let's have another go at this. There we go. Got that one. Oh, I should now be able to get. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So we go from M3 to M12. I can't remember what they cost, but personally I think they were good. They're good value. Comes with the handle and with your tapping drills too, so that's always handy to have your tap sizes there. I need to really sort this out. I could criticise the box, but I'm not going to, because I know how it's travelled. It doesn't look that beat up, but believe me, it's not in bad condition for where it's been and what it's been through. So that'll conclude tonight's little short video, and again I apologise. Hopefully I'll be able to find the rest of the video footage. There's some footage I was looking for yesterday to make up some stuff for the some stuff so that I can give you a bit more video on the V-block, and I'm making up the grooving tools to go in the shaper. I've got some footage of them once they've progressed, but unfortunately I haven't got the original bit of footage that I really want to show you how I got them to that point. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Please comment, please subscribe, and thank you for your patience. Good night.